Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Jem and the Holograms? Yes, hello, here we are again. We are the Can We Talk About podcast, and we are Can We Talking about that thing you all know and love. I'm not gonna gussy it up here for you. We're talking about that Neon Nightmare, that pastel phantasm, that oh so frighteningly fashionable 80s cartoon, air quotes classic, Jem and the Holograms. I am the seal that's always getting into trouble when I'm not causing it. I'm Joe.
I'm gonna kill you so I can go to college. I'm Kristen.
And we are watching Jem and the Holograms via Jem and the Holograms Truly Outrageous Complete Series, a box set by Shout Factory, as well as The Wonderful World of Netflix. Kristen, I wrote that open in like 3 seconds, which is why there are words missing all over it.
Hey, you did it.
What do you got about Netflix this week, Kristen?
Well, I was just telling you off mic that I have started watching 13 Reasons Why, and I'm not sure I like it.
It's teen drama.
It's teen drama, and as I told you, I think the issue with me in teen drama is because I was a nerd in high school and didn't do teen drama things, I cannot relate to these characters in the slightest.
What does the nerd teen drama high school thing look like? Is it just...
I didn't have any drama, because I'm not an asshole. I literally never fought with anyone my entire time in high school, and it was chill.
Maybe you should have. You should have punched somebody and been just like, I don't even know what the fuck, what would a nerd even fight about? Was it just like fucking, how dare you say?
My Yu-Gi-Oh cards!
How dare you with my Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
You took my Blue Eyes White Dragon!
Everything sounds like, every joke I want to make sounds like a bad nerd joke, so I don't want to, because it's just...
That's why I went with Yu-Gi-Oh, which is something I don't actually like.
Hey!
There was a time in my life.
It's a fun card game. It was. I don't. There's some new shit in Yu-Gi-Oh now. I don't even want to get into it because I have no idea.
I don't want to talk to you about Yu-Gi-Oh.
As far as Netflix for me, Kristen, I have not. I'm still watching the new Mystery Science Theaters. They're pretty good.
I started watching one just because I wanted to see the opening of one, and then I got like 2 seconds into the actual movie, and I was like, I'll do this later. Teen suicide first. The
one development of Netflix that I thought was pretty funny this week, though, was I saw comedian Bill Burr watch the first 3 episodes of One Punch Man, and he liked it.
Oh, nice. I don't know why for a split second I heard comedian and then Bill, and I was like, my mind connected the dots automatically. My brain really needs to stop doing this. To Bill Engvall.
And here I thought you were going to go Bill Cosby?
Other Bill?
There are a lot of comedians named Bill.
Sure are. Good observation. Like Bill Seinfeld, first of all.
Let me tell you, that Bill Seinfeld, me and him go way back. As far as Jem is concerned this week, we are in the middle of nowhere, which, Kristen, I think is a kind of mean thing to call the episode, considering, Utu and her family. I mean, George is kind of an asshole, but I mean, like, they're okay people, so, like, why would you be just like, oh, Alaska, fucking middle of nowhere, right?
It's still the United States.
It's an island, I guess, technically. I mean, do they say they're doing a tour in Alaska, but, like, Atuk Island, is it part of Alaska?
I don't know. They just land in anywhere north of California, and they're like, snow!
There's like, everything is ice, oh my god.
Help!
And for some reason, Kristen, I don't know why the fuck? Alright, so, no offense to Alaska, I don't know how often they get concerts.
I was thinking that too. The famous Anchorage Concert Hall.
Right up there with Budokan, it's just like, wow, cool, but yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know what the fuck, like, Jem just says it so, like, casually, like, oh, we have a concert in Alaska. Okay.
We'll talk about that when we get there, because I have some words about the introduction of this information.
And honestly, it just seems like it's a fucking excuse to do an Alaska episode by them just going, oh, we have a concert!
And the Alaska episode is just an excuse to preach about seals.
Kristen, I think I just realized that, like, Jem and everyone, like, jet set into all these places all over the world is just... every time is easily excused with, oh, we have a concert.
Uh-huh.
In any case, it's time to go nowhere, and not the cool nowhere from Courage the Cowardly Dog, so let's nowhere. We start off, this episode was written by Chris Pratt, which I looked into it here, in addition to being the lead in Guardians of the Galaxy and a bit player on Parks and Rec. I shouldn't say bit player. He's more than that. He's a secondary character. Even a main character, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so, as the seasons continued on.
He started as a bit player, let's say. The only thing that Chris Pratt has ever written, has been this episode of Gem and some kind of short, which I didn't look into.
Cool.
Other than that, he's been a producer on My Little Pony and Inhumanoids, and, Kristen, I thought Gem was the fucking forgotten cartoon of Hasbro in the 80s, but the Inhumanoids, I don't hear fucking anything about them ever.
Never heard of that.
I think that's Hasbro. I mean, that's the thing. I don't even fucking know. But
I wonder if there was a Sky Dancers cartoon.
I feel like there was.
I feel like there was, too.
I thought Sky Dancers was Mattel.
I don't know. I had one of those and it destroyed my fingers.
Yeah, because it was fucking
Flap, 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 flap.
dangerous.
And that's why I don't have fingers now.
We start off at Harvey Gabor's office, where Pizzazz is being told by some stuffy secretary woman that she can't see her dad today because, we might be able to slot you in for tomorrow. Yeah, Pizzazz makes a screaming devil woman noise in the form of the word daddy, and everybody just stops and their eyes melt out, and Pizzazz is just like, all right, cool. Harvey's a little pissed because he's just like, Phyllis, can't you see I'm TCB over here? I'm taking care of business.
Every day.
Every way. Pizzazz is just like, but I'm here to talk about business. And then the business, of course, is opening a door to some kind of like closet or a dungeon or something that Eric is just standing behind like, hi, I'm here.
He was in devil stasis.
Harvey was so excited to see Pizzazz god in business, but god damn it, now he's got to deal with Eric, and he almost immediately is just like, I remember you, didn't you fuck up my movie studio? Jesus!
And Eric is like, I did do that! Won't do it again, though, because this time, no movie theaters.
Yeah, his exact response is, well, it'll be different this time, which is...
That's true, you're right, Mr. Gabor. I did fuck up, but never again.
Very convincing. Eric is here because he's trying to shill what he knows best, and that is records. Harvey's just like, fuck it. And then Eric makes the connection here. He plays a little bit of fucking...
I would call it a logic leap.
A 6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon here.
Yeah, he goes from records to Kevin Bacon.
He goes, records are made of vinyl. Vinyl is made of oil, and the arm bone's connected to the shoulder bone.
Kevin Bacon. That's what it's all about.
Eric wants to buy land in the Wilderlands of Alaska over here to build an oil refinery, I guess, or something like that.
Saying something about a pipeline, which is modern.
There's like pipeline, factory, and oil refinery are all used in the context of what Eric wants to do here.
Buzzwords.
And my question is, Kristen, if this is fucking oil, why is Eric gonna waste it making records out of it?
And not making big oil bucks?
And not being a big Texas man.
I, gotta respect Eric for trying to stick to what he knows instead of venturing off into movies or real estate.
Kristen, this is real estate.
He claims that it's records, and his goal is records. So his single-mindedness says records and not become oil tycoon? Become richer than Harvey Gabor.
I mean, he needs the seed money, I guess, from Harvey to make it happen. So he can't just go buy the land himself. Yes, to pray for oil. Eric promises a fortune. Billions, even.
That was a lot of money in the 80s.
I mean, it's a lot of money now.
That's true, also.
Harvey says that, all right, it's a date in Alaska. I don't know, is my Harvey Gabor Richard Nixon or something? What the fuck am I doing?
It sounds a little bit like it. This is the only time we visually see Harvey Gabor again in this episode.
Yeah.
From now on, it's just his voice. They forgot how to draw him, so they just didn't.
This episode's kind of weird, Kristen. I noticed, actually, animation-wise, it feels like everybody is using an outdated character model. I don't know what it is. I mean, there's animation errors all over the episode, but nothing, really egregious like in Music is Magic or anything. Just a lot of stuff like Jem has, like, really thick black eyebrows for some reason, and Bonnie's
drawn... Because his hair is very yellow.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, old character models and stuff. It's weird.
It's weird.
But there's one condition Harvey has for this here, which I believe... Pizzazz didn't fuck up the plan in this episode, but if there was anything that was going to fuck up the plan in this episode, it was the fact that Harvey is just like, all right, Pizzazz, you need to go with Eric to make sure he does everything right.
And Pizzazz is like, sure, if I know anything, it's oil.
Pizzazz being there is only going to make it more likely for terrible life-ending devil fuck-ups to happen.
That's true. She just cannot control those snakes that live inside her fingers.
We fade to Starlight Mansion. Bonnie is showing off a picture of her pen pal Utu to Shayna. Shayna's like drawn models.
Apropos of nothing. Hey, Shayna, draw a fashion figure of my friend Utu.
Who's got the weird Eskimo lines on her face.
Yeah, great.
Looking like she's 80 years old. Bonnie's showing off a picture of Utu here, and I wrote in my notes under that, can you tell me what she looks like? She didn't send a Braille picture. So, boom! Getting in there with those blind references again.
Woohoo! Yeah, Bonnie is a little rascal in this episode, so she doesn't exhibit much blind child behavior.
Utu has a pet seal as well, which I forgot the name of, so I started referring to it as Naraku.
Okay, cool. I don't think it's a pet if it's a wild animal.
It doesn't live in their house, it lives with the rest of the seals, but she knows which one it is, so...
You being able to identify something doesn't make it your pet. If that were the case, I would own every stray cat in Philadelphia.
Maybe for the, like, Utu was just kind of bringing it down for the layman here, just kind of being like, yeah, it's my seal, don't worry about it.
It's mine. Silly mainlanders don't know anything about seals.
Also, we learned that Utu is pissed because some asshole named Eric Raymond wants to buy her island and build a factory.
Sob story. Let's go to Alaska.
Maybe they don't have zoning laws in Alaska, so Eric thinks he can, like, pull one over on the government. Maybe that's why he's trying this again.
Again, all for the sake of records.
If he buys the island and builds the factory, all the seals are gonna die. Eric's gonna club every last one of them.
He's gonna take them out one by one. Ice cold. Killer. Seal killer.
Jericho walks in and is just kind of like, wait a minute, Bonnie, did you say Alaska? That's where Jem is going to be touring. How weird.
Thank God you brought it up, because I'm not interested enough in your life to have known that unless you disseminated that information to me.
Good thing you showed Shayna that picture.
Jerica. This
is the only time we see Jerica in this episode, too.
Good.
Even when fucking Jem gets knocked out later, she doesn't turn back into Jerica for some reason.
Well, Synergy's not in her brain.
I know.
Synergy works in Alaska, but not Washington, D.C.
It's a lot of open air in Alaska, I guess. I thought it was that there was, like, the security system and shit, too.
There was that, but, like...
Kristen, Synergy works in China, you know?
I know.
Bonnie gets invited to their touring Alaska, because apparently they're going to be spending, like, a fucking week in Alaska, too, which I guess
cool.
that's how you tour in Alaska. You go there, and it's just like, all right, next plane out is in 21 days.
Doesn't Bonnie go to school?
We cut to the Misfits and Eric here, who are traveling by dog sled. Pizzazz is complaining because, you know,
that's
just
what
like,
she does.
That's what she does. Eric is just like, well, I tried to get a plane, but nobody was going to fly out here.
Eric exposits that he needs one more signature before he can formally get the land. They've been there for a week already, I guess, because that's what Harvey Gabor said. Who are these other people Eric is getting signatures from? I don't understand.
It's the coalition of seals, Kristen, and they're never going to budge.
Oh, those goddamn seals!
Luckily, Eric brought Seal Zipper with him. Zipper.
No. I hate it.
They see a plane fly by, and Pizzazz is just like, yeah, no planes come out here, huh, Eric, you fucking cheap ass.
And it's the holograms in a plane, and they're gonna sing a song.
As it happens, this plane happens to house, yes, the holograms, Bonnie, airplane pilot man, and Utu.
Who is blind.
He has the really dark sunglasses, yes.
So nice of them to give this blind pilot a job as a pilot.
That could have been Rio.
It could have been.
Utu asks Mr. Plane Man Sanders, Mr. Sanders, Plane Man, Blind Plane Sanders Man here, Colonel Sanders, to show them some of the sights, and we get Song 1 of the evening in the Land of the Midnight Sun, which we will play for you right now.
I watched this episode less than an hour ago, and I barely remember how the song goes.
It's a slow jam.
Is Alaska really called the Land of the Midnight Sun?
I have no idea, Kristen. All I can tell you is the holograms look fucking sedate as shit in this airplane.
Oh, yeah. They're all high in that plane. They got high, and then they got high.
in an airplane.
In altitude.
They're bored as hell because the entire, like, I don't know if this is supposed to show, like, impressive, pretty visuals and shit. It's just like, wow, ice, a mountain, cool. Seals and a reindeer?
Wow. I don't know if you noticed this. Every single shot that they try to show of seals just kind of hanging out, there seem to be 5,000 seals. Very densely populated with seals, so I can understand why the seals dying might be of concern to the people who live here, because it will be a seal fucking massacre. 5 million seals dead.
God damn it, how did a polar bear get in here? He's gonna have a field day.
Oh no, he can't eat that much. He get too full and he'll stop moving. Like the raccoon that ate those pastries.
This music video, I think, is supposed to be going to bat for Alaska, and it looks like fucking garbage. It just looks cold and miserable, and it, like, oh, Land of the Midnight Sun, fuck off. How about that?
Jim and Shayna wave at seals. Not people. Seals. There are more seals than people.
There are, because we see
People live in Alaska.
We see exactly 3 people on a fishing boat, I think.
Great and cool.
And they wave at the plane, too, because it's just like, oh my god, life, please save us. We're in Alaska.
It sucks more here than I realized. I would like to leave.
So the plane arrives at the island. That song kind of sucked, but it's better than Safe and Sound. So that's basically what this boils down to, is our song selection. Is this the most... because it's not... These songs aren't necessarily bad. They're just boring and kind of shitty. So... Is this, with Making Mischief and Safe and Sound, our worst selection of songs in Gem so far?
Maybe.
Because, I mean, Star Spangled Fantasy and Freedom. What was the second song of that episode? Fucking, Time Is Running Out? Jesus Christ! The Presidential Dilemma sucks! Fuck!
All these episodes suck. We're trying our best.
So the plane arrives at Atuk Island here, where Utu's family lives, and Gem and Co. are introduced. We got Mr. and Mrs... they say her last name, I don't remember what the fuck it is. Mr. and Mrs. Utu's father and mother. And...
George.
Middle boy George here, Costanza, of course.
George Rio.
George Costanza Rio. He has... I don't know who voices George, but it's definitely a voice we've heard
It's
before.
Rio.
It's Rio?
That's why I'm calling him Rio.
Oh, shit. He's speaking in a higher voice than...
If you close your eyes, he sounds just pissed enough that you're like, oh yeah, that's Rio.
Eric arrives directly after the holograms arrive, before the introductions are over, and it takes him like 3 seconds to notice all these fucking Technicolor women as he introduces himself to Mr. and Mrs. Utu's father and mother.
Yeah, he's like, okay, yes, indigenous people. Technicolor women. Probably not Gem and the Holograms. Probably people who live on this island.
And it takes for Gem to go, hi, Eric, for Eric to be like, fuck! Gem and the Holograms? What are you guys doing here? And Utu's dad is just like, fuck it. Let's get going here.
I'm glad you came all this way, since we were expecting you, Eric. Fuck you, we're not doing shit with you right now. We have rock stars.
Eric is just like, I need that signature now. And Utu's dad is just kind of like, how about tomorrow? And Eric's just like, no. And it's like, I gotta entertain a girl band, so bye.
I don't understand what kind of person you have to be to hear someone else say, I have very important paperwork that my sponsor needs immediately. And you just go, nah, I don't feel like it.
That's what's called leverage, Kristen.
It's rude, is what it is.
Oh yeah, let's just sign over the land to the billionaire asshole who's gonna build an oil refinery and kill all the seals. Okay.
Yes.
Just because it's rude.
Yo, they had a week to consider it. This day was their deadline. It's not all happening at once out of nowhere. I'm defending Eric and his seal massacre.
And we see Brother George seems to be the brains behind the operation of getting his dad to sign as well, because he's just like, yo, come on, Dad, why don't you just sign? And Ute's just like, but what about the seals?
Fuck seals, get money.
I can relate.
Who knows what would happen in the future, but I might kill a seal for money.
Kristen, do you not want to have the hot take of, fuck it, money?
Well, murdering a lot of animals is a little bit extreme. I am considering from the viewpoint of, would I kill a seal with my bare hands for a lot of money? Which is slightly different than this situation.
I mean, I don't know if I could get my hands around the neck of if seals have a neck. If I could like strangle a seal, I might for a lot of money.
Your first approach is strangle a seal? You would definitely not be able to get your hands around that neck.
There's a reason people club them.
I suppose so. This got dark. Seal murder. Can we talk about podcast?
George is basically, his entire motivation is he wants to get the fuck out of Alaska, and again, I can relate.
And Utu is like, are you gonna kill everything just so you can be rich? And when I heard that, I was like, maybe.
Kinda.
I mean, now that you're asking.
Father Utu stops the fighting here and tells
Also,
her...
kill everything. It's just seals.
Yeah, it's not everything. I'm not killing plants.
Pick up the seals and put them somewhere else. Who the fuck cares?
Displace them out of their natural habitat. That's worked
That
fine
always
before.
works out fine.
So we fade to the Utu family homestead at this point. Bonnie and Utu are like doing the dishes because it's Alaska and that's fun to do, I guess.
Well, I think it's also necessary, like house chores.
Well,
they're not doing it for recreation.
No. So what do you do here in Alaska? Dishes?
Mostly dishes.
Utu is crying and dejected and shit because of the seals, and Rhea's just like, you guys should go see fucking Naraku or whatever the name of the seal is.
You know, like from Inuyasha.
But Utu has chores. Oh no.
You mean fun chores, though.
Jem and company offer to do the chores for her, and Kimber fucking invokes the wrath of the irony god by going, how much work can a little girl's chores be?
Hey, to be fair, if Brother Rio did anything, maybe there wouldn't be so many chores.
True, you're right. The holograms also all voluntarily are just like, we'll eat shit, Jem, you go and fucking go hang out with the seals or whatever.
Have fun! Hope you don't bonk your head and nearly die!
Alright, you talked me into it.
Nice!
As if she needed convincing.
I won't do chores, thanks!
Utu shows off a map. They're outside now, looking to get in some kayaks, and Utu's just like, alright, cool, I'm gonna spend about 45 seconds here letting you know.
There's a bad current! We can't go over to where the bad current is, because bad things will happen with the current. Kayaking, no current, bad, we die.
Thanks, Dora. Put away the fucking map. Let's get out of here.
And she folds it up and she was like, you need me to repeat that. Like the owl from Ocarina of Time. And then you accidentally hit yes. And she goes, okay, so about this current.
You could put it in fucking big neon letters, foreshadowing on the map, and Jem would still be just kind of like, uh-huh, cool.
So Bonnie tries to jump into the only one-person kayak available to them, and Jem's like, no?
Jem plays the part of responsible adult for once in her goddamn life, and is just like, ah, we need to go on the tandem kayak.
These literally belong to Utu's family. Why are you hijacking it? Kayak, hijack!
Whoa, that's a cool movie coming to Sci-Fi Channel this summer.
Hell yeah.
Maybe Bonnie can do it alone when she gets some experience. And then her motherfucker, I did 5 years undercover in this backwater shithole. I know my way around a kayak. We brought down the seal mafia.
Oh, Bonnie's going in, trying to clean up the trash. The seal trash. What is it about seals that makes me want to talk about
destroying them?
Yeah, why do I act like seals are trash fires?
We cut to the paltry airport on the island, which is literally just a shack that says airport in front of it.
Nice.
Pizzazz isn't really pissed that Eric didn't get the signature. She's just kind of like shocked and disappointed. She's like, what do you mean you didn't get the signature? What?
And it turns out the other misfits are here because they didn't have anything else to do. And Pizzazz was like, well, if I'm in a position where I might freeze to death, I need to have one of you around so I can eat you.
It was basically it's the same thing that happened in Father's Day, where it's just like, everybody's going to Mulberry. What? Everybody's going to Alaska. Fuck.
Sure.
Harvey calls into the CB radio at this point, and he asks for Pizzazz specifically, and when Eric answers, Pizzazz is actually like really disappointed that she didn't get to answer.
She's like, he literally said my name.
Harvey asks how things are going and if everything's ready, and Eric's just kind of like, I still need one signature, and Harvey's just like, cool, going back to LA, see ya!
He does get to talk to Pizzazz, and still is placing an inordinate amount of faith in her.
For some reason, he's just like, Phyllis, I'm very disappointed in you. I thought you were taking charge of the situation.
He repeatedly says in this episode, it's time to make me proud. I thought you were going to make me proud. Don't disappoint me. Make me proud.
She look like fucking Zipper or something, buddy? Trying to do the dirty work here? Jesus.
Pizzazz is not your yes man, Harvey.
Pizzazz also lies here, and he's just like, the stupid kid's father said she'll sign it in the morning. He'll sign in the morning. Everybody's gonna sign it in the morning, so why don't you come back around, and it'll be great.
So Eric gets 24 more hours.
24 theme playing in the background.
I don't know the 24 theme.
The fucking clock noise.
Bum.
So it becomes the Law and Order theme.
Yes, it's the first place my mind went.
And here is where, yes, Harvey goes, Phyllis, don't disappoint me again.
I am not a crook.
Pizzazz, after, Harvey goes, go bore out. Pizzazz sets down the microphone very, the CB microphone very calmly and goes, Eric, I could kill you. Like, the most genuine I've ever heard.
2 times they say kill in this episode.
They do. Fucking Chris Pratt, he's a really edgy writer for Jem.
They say the K word.
We cut back to the Utu family homestead. They're chopping wood at this point. The holograms are all tired as shit because they didn't expect they'd have to chop wood. Jesus Christ, a little girl does this every day!
And Brother Rio is like, you're not doing too bad for city girls.
Kristen, I'm going to be honest. If I were George and there was this girl band that was just like, we'll do chores, I'd be like, oh yeah, these are part of Utu's chores too. Go ahead.
Well, when you said you would do the chores, I just assumed you meant my chores too. I mean, you are guests staying here for free. 5 of you. 5!
We cut back to Jem, Utu, and Bani. They come up upon a ridge and see the seals. Utu shows off Naraku, and it's just kind of like, when he isn't causing trouble, he's into it. Got wacky.
Wacky cartoon seal. We're thinking about a spin-off. It's a television show called Inuyasha. Anyway, they are like, oh, which one is Naku? Naku, yeah, that's it.
Naraku, yeah.
You fucked me up. And Utu is like, oh, he's the one that's darker than everyone else, but the coloring is so weird in this episode that he barely looks any different than the other ones. Why didn't they make him green or something? He's super sick.
Why didn't they give him a mohawk or something?
Or a mustache. Mohawk and a mustache and green.
The perfect Naraku.
Punk rock seal.
We get back to the...
Hey, Joe.
What?
A seal like that would go clubbing. Why is it so easy? I like seals. I've seen them in aquariums.
Do you, Kristen?
I do.
I think you're seal racist.
I think you are.
We get back to the homestead. George is, he's like, hey, you're doing great for city girls. And then he reestablishes that he's just like, well, tomorrow I'm going to be a city girl too, because I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
He's going to be an uptown girl living in an uptown world.
I
bet he never had a Backstreet guy. I bet his mama never told him why. Seals. I didn't plan accordingly. Seals.
That song sucks.
It's okay.
Not your song, the Billy Joel song.
No, that's what I meant. My song was great. Again, very funny joke.
And he also says, on top of that he's never going to have to work again. And Rhea, very snidely, very catty under her breath, is just kind of like, he's not doing much work now, is he?
Ooh, burn. Kimber's like, poor innocent Kimber. What's that happen to the seals?
And George is like, they're gonna die? Duh? I'm gonna murder them.
Everyone is scandalized by this. And yeah, George basically says, well, fuck the seals, they don't chop wood for me.
What have the seals ever done for us?
They don't pay me rent to live on this island.
Also, here's where George starts showing cracks in his asshole armor, where he's just like, and Utu's gonna get some of that money too. I'm gonna make sure to send her to college.
Fancy.
And Rhea is just like, well, can't you do that without killing seals?
Maybe you should think of a way, Rhea.
Isn't this the second episode in a row where Rhea's just like, well, why don't you not do that? Without offering her own version of it.
I have some optimism for you.
It's only optimism.
That's all. No solutions. Just friendly suggestions that maybe do it different.
It seems like it's the easiest and most probable way they're gonna do it, is selling the island here, because how the fuck else are they gonna make their... Are they gonna build an oil refinery or something and get them... I don't know how it's gonna work. It doesn't matter. Fuck it.
Fuck it is right.
We're back to Jem and friends. They're going to play with Naraku here, and Jem says, hey, maybe if you invite George out here, he won't be an asshole. And Utu's just kind of like, oh, he's been out here, but he's always an asshole.
He kicked one of the seals. I saw him do it. He curb stomped a seal.
He brought him a pizza, and then he, dropped the pizza on the ground. We're just like, oh no, what happened to your pizza? And then they ate it anyway, because they're seals.
And he got mad at that, too. And just... Bonnie gets so fucking bored, she just leaves.
Bonnie slips away and is so adamant to prove her point that she can kayak alone that she goes out in the single kayak and is like, aha, look, I can do it. Oh, fuck!
In case you didn't expect it to happen, Bonnie is like, ha ha ha, I'm so good at this. And Jem's like, Bonnie, no! And as soon as Bonnie is like, okay, I'll come back, she gets caught in that strong current we mentioned 5,000 times before, and starts to get sucked down to Atlantis.
Yes, she gets caught in a whirlpool, which...
Atlantis. in the Pacific Ocean.
The ocean's famous Atlantis.
Of course.
So that's the end of segment 1. Segment 2 starts here. Jem and Utu get into a kayak and ram it into Bonnie's to stop it from getting in the whirlpool, I guess, somehow.
Keep her down!
And it works because, they grab Bonnie and bring her into the kayak, but then they hit some, sharp ice, I guess.
They ram right into it.
And the boat starts sinking, and I have in, big capital letters, disaster kayak.
It sure is. And there were 2.
There are 2 disaster boats in this episode, Kristen.
What a nightmare.
Also, Jem hits her head and gets knocked out here.
Because they're like, we need to swim. So Jem starts to stand up on the kayak, slips and bonks her head. And she's definitely dead.
That's right on the back of the head. That's like a total concussion area.
That's the kind of thing that in a dramatic movie would definitely kill someone.
So we cut to the Misfits at this point, and they're just kind of...
The Seals are getting revenge.
They're hanging out on snowmobiles. They're almost at jet skis, but yeah, that would be much more fun.
Woo!
And it's just basically like, well, we need another song in this episode, so let's go make some mischief.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
I don't particularly want to talk about making mischief.
Why is that?
Because not a goddamn thing happens during this song.
Well, there's some things that happen. There's a snowmobile mischief.
Pizzazz brings a pizza to the people in the town, and then she drops the pizza. And then Roxy overturns an ashtray on top of it.
Oh, what happened to your pizza?
Oh no, now it's ash pizza. Warm up, motherfuckers. Meh.
They cause a dude to crash his car as well, which that's not making mischief. That's a crime, probably. Yep. As well as splash some dude with some mud snow, which is not a crime. That is making mischief.
That's just plain old fun.
And also they knock down some clothing that's out to dry in the middle of this fucking negative 90-degree weather outside.
No, that's just cruel. Not illegal, but unkind.
Pizzazz gets caught in a net, and then
A tiny net.
It's a net, and it's tiny. And it gets just ripped, and that's all that happens with that, and then...
Pizzazz reverses the footage. She says she will not be stopped by a tiny net.
The last thing that happens in this music video, Kristen, is basically there's a dog sled dude, and Pizzazz crashes directly into the dog sled, and then Stormer takes his hat.
Fuck your dogs! Oh no, the dude, not the dogs.
No, she doesn't run down some dogs, Kristen. So we cut back to Jem, Utu, and Bonnie. They made it back to land.
Well, no, we cut back to Utu, Bonnie, and a corpse.
A pink-haired corpse here, yes.
She is unconscious in very cold water. That's called being dead.
The word hypothermia does not appear at all in this episode, and it should have, because it's not they start a fire eventually, but I don't think that's gonna help.
Also, Jem is submerged in water and still Jem.
That too, which, fuck it.
Club Jem!
The Misfits have stopped making their mischief for a moment as they're all up on an ice ridge somewhere, and Jen is just like, why did we stop? And Pizzazz looks through her binoculars and sees Jem and all of them looking like they need help. Now, the Misfits seem like they're decently close to where Bonnie and Utu and a corpse are.
It takes them 5,000 years to enact this plan.
And they take a boat, too, which doesn't seem like a good idea.
No.
Because it starts out here, Stormer's just like, oh, we should go for help. And Pizzazz is just like, wait a minute, I have a better idea. I'll kill them from here. No, wait. I'll save them.
Yes, I got my words messed up there. Save is what I meant.
Roxy goes like, are you fucking cracked? What? Save Jem and the holograms.
Roxy thinks that they should let them die.
As any good Philadelphian does.
Of course.
Pizzazz...
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Phil, the dolphin.
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins the dolphin. Pizzazz actually has a good idea here, Kristen, and that is, if the Misfits save Utu and Jem, it'll make a case for Utu's dad to be like, oh, well, maybe Eric Raymond's not such a bad guy, let's sign those papers.
Unfortunately, the opposite becomes true. She
enacts the plan in a way that's so fucking stupid that it ends up ruining everything.
Suddenly, Utu's family is like, where...
Don't we have a daughter?
Don't I have 2 kids? Hold on.
Wasn't there a pink-haired lady with you? No, I don't mean... No, not you, the other pink-haired lady.
Yeah, I feel like there were... How many pink-haired ladies are here? God, are you guys my kids?
Kimber and company come back in at this point. They're done slicing the wood, and George apologizes here. Again, kind of just being like, I'm not an asshole. Just be like, you know what, the money's very important to me and my family, and it's our future here, and I apologize for flying off the handle. And Rhea goes, apology accepted. And that's that!
They had to shove in the apology so that he could stick it to Eric later and not seem like it's coming out of nowhere.
Aja wonders where Utu and Bonnie went as well, and the dad looks out the window longingly.
They're definitely dead.
We cut back to Bonnie and Utu. Bonnie is, like, freaking out because nobody knows where they are, and she's probably very cold because she was swimming in very cold water.
Not hypothermia, though. No concern of that. She's fine.
Luckily, Utu has a flare gun.
And she has to be careful because if they go to the radio tower, you need to agree with Emily. But if you don't keep the flare gun, then Matt will get killed by the Wendigo.
What?
Until dawn.
I'm just lying. It's matches to make a fire and shit, because the child should have a flare gun, though.
Aren't the matches wet? Just curious.
It's the ending of Toy Story all over again. The car just goes by and the match goes out.
Perfect.
Does that work science-wise with fucking Buzz Lightyear's helmet reflecting the light to... Because it's plastic, right?
I have no idea. I've never used, like, a magnifying glass to burn anything.
Is it because it's, like, concave, kinda?
I don't
know. It's a movie.
It's not concave, Joe. It's convex.
Is it? Because I'm looking at it from the angle of, like, the inside of the helmet pointing the light toward... Whatever. Buzz Lightyear.
Reflecting in on itself. Whatever.
Bonnie blames herself here because she should. Because
it is her fault.
It is her fault. Yes. At least it's not like Kimber who's just like, oh, it's the boat's problem. Probably.
Eat that humble pie.
We cut to the Misfits. Pizzazz is just kind of like boat, 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 boat.
And then Bonnie comes in, as she usually does, and goes, y'all ready for this?
Jetta's not too on board with the boat idea, so to speak.
Whoop, there's the boat!
Roxy makes fun of Jetta, saying English royalty must be afraid of water, and for some reason Jetta is just like, hey, colonist! What? Huh? So Pizzazz gets to getting on the boat with Jetta here, and after, basically...
They get on the boat!
And Utu's dad is getting a little worried. We're back to them at this point. George is going to head out to get Mr. Sanders, Colonel Sanders here, and go on the plane. Mr. Blindman. Bernie Sanders, get on the plane. We're back to Bonnie and Utu, and Bonnie's starting to get scared because it's cold. There's a lot of, fucking back and forth here. Jesus.
Lots. We get it. Bonnie's freaking out and Jem is dead.
Utu wonders where Naraku went, and we see the seals are, passing along Bonnie's hat that got dropped in the water because...
Haha, she's dead!
Fucking we're back to everybody else. They split up to cover more ground gang, and everyone gets in either boats or Mr. Sanders' plane. And if only Rio were here, because he could have been like,
He would either have one more plane or a motorcycle.
Crashed through the hull of a boat and been like, I have an airplane.
Here I am, I'm ready to help.
We see Jetta and Pizzazz getting pulled out into that fucking nasty current, and then after that, they're heading towards icebergs. Or
no, it's the icebergs!
Ice drifts, whatever. And 2, the engine stalls.
The engine, how cool.
2 disaster boats in one episode, and Jetta even calls it a stupid American engine.
It's a stupid American engine.
Segment 2 ends with Jetta and Pizzazz getting crushed by ice drifts in the middle of the fucking ocean.
And then they die. Anyway.
Segment 3 starts. Pizzazz started paddling earlier, which is how they avoided catastrophe. Even then, we see that, the tops crash together, but it's still, there's, a narrow enough path for them to get through. Ice does fall, so they might have been killed by falling ice, which seems worse than getting just crushed by ice.
Yeah, one's a little bit faster than the other.
We come back to Jem, who is waking up at this point. No oxygen to her brain for the past fucking 5 hours, so... But
she's fine. She can walk great, and now she's gonna go kill Lucy Lou.
Bonnie... that muscle atrophy and shit, of course, after 5 hours.
Yup. Hey, how do you feel when you wake up in the morning? I have to wiggle my big toe.
Bonnie explains what's going on here, and Jem is just like, well, I know what we can't do. And that's panic.
Bonnie's like, too fucking late.
Utu says they may as well just build up the fire and hope someone finds them before they freeze to death, because that's...
Nice, I love a little kid that's a nihilist.
We're all just gonna die anyway, fuck it.
Or is this being pragmatic? I'm not sure.
We cut to someone. They fish the broken kayak out of the water. One of the broken kayaks, I should say.
Is this your daughter?
And they call over like, hey, we found a boat, like a dead boat. Did your daughter, was she like a wereboat? Is that
was she made of wood? Okay, I'm just checking. Stop yelling.
And the guy on the CB, he's just like a random fisherman, he could not sound more neutral toward what seems like giving the news of, hey, your daughter's probably dead in the ocean, so...
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
Just then, Shayna calls over from the airplane. It's her and the airplane man and George, I don't remember who else is in there. Who knows? But Shayna's in there, and she's just like, I see a boat, and there's 2 people. And Utu's dad goes, I hope it's them. There's 3 people. That implies that implies that one of them died.
I hope it's at least the 2 little girls.
Surprise, it's Jeddah and Pizzazz.
Couldn't tell from far away that it was 2 adult women, but whatever. They do some stupid plane action. I don't even want to talk about this.
It's basically, Bernie Sanders just kind of goes, all right, I hope you're ready to see some fancy flying. And it's one of those boats with the water landy things on them. I don't know what the fuck they're called.
Floaty?
But a seafaring plane? I have no idea.
It has floaty wings.
It's got floaty wings on it. And he basically lands on the water here. Action Sanders over here. And they grab Pizzazz and Jeddah, who are now being threatened by another aggressive iceberg coming after them.
Chased by a sentient iceberg.
The same one that killed the Titanic. God damn it.
I hate rock music.
Coming back to finish the job.
I killed those seals first, and now I'll kill you.
And a thing happens here where they're not even all in the plane before Bernie Sanders is just like, well, now I gotta take off. Here we go. And he makes that noise as the plane takes off, and it's just like...
that wasn't even a plane noise that time. That was a straight-up fart noise. My apologies.
That was a raspberry. We cut back. We see George is regretful, saying he'd give anything to see Utu safe. And then, just like that, the seals are like, anything, huh? Mm-hmm.
Including the lives of thousands of seals.
Aha! Loophole!
If I kill enough, I'll please the polar bear god. And he will grant me one wish, and it will be the return of my sister. But it will be a monkey paws wish, or a polar bear paws wish. She'll be a zombie, like in the story about the monkey paw.
Like in the JoJo thing.
I think the monkey paw thing did it first.
Probably. Zombie Avdol and Zombie Polnareff's sister, probably not first.
Don't want that.
We see the seals are off kind of the port bow or whatever. They're fucking off the side of the ship here, and they're all fucking around with Bonnie's hat. And I think it's Rhea who goes, I think they're trying to tell us where they are. Are they?
Okay, Rhea, seal whisperer.
Kristen, I gotta tell you, I do not like cartoon animals that are too smart to be normal animals but aren't like fucking Tom and Jerry.
So you think they should have been like bipedal seals?
It should have been a mustache and a mohawk and a monocle and shit. And
the seal should have picked up a picket sign that said, your daughter over here.
Exactly, yes.
And then the other seal also holds up a sign and just says, yikes!
And then he falls through the ocean somehow, and it's Wile E. Coyote.
Woo!
So they start following the seals, and sure enough, it leads them right to Jem and company. Everybody hugs. Even the seal gets a hug. Whoa! What's it? Naraku, you fucking demon jewel, whatever.
And it whispers in Utu's ear as she holds him close. You don't get to die until I kill you.
And thus the cycle continues. And then In the Air Tonight starts playing.
That wasn't what I meant for it to be when I started making sound effects, but hey, I'm in a Phil Collins state of mind. What can I say? Let's hear it, Phil Collins!
I knew that was going to happen, goddammit. Utu's dad basically rubs it in George's face that the seals are responsible for rescuing everyone, except Pizzazz and Jeddah.
Brother Rio takes it pretty well. He's like, I suppose you're right. We didn't do any of the work. It was all the seals. It was all the seals.
And then Utu gives her dad a kiss, and she gives George a kiss, and it's the next day all of a sudden.
Cool
whatever. Eric arrives with the papers, but...
Nobody bothered to tell Eric in advance that they weren't interested. They had to publicly shame him.
Well, they might not have a phone at the airport, Kristen.
I assume they have phones somewhere. Alaska is a modern state.
Alaska isn't a frozen wasteland like this fucking cartoon wants you to believe.
They're not in the North Pole.
I'm pretty sure there are times of the year when Anchorage doesn't have snow.
Yeah, it's a normal fucking city.
How far south is Anchorage in Alaska, actually?
I don't know.
It might be on that like tail tip at the fucking front of it or whatever. on the west side.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I barely know where Alaska actually is on the globe.
Eric arrives with the papers here. Yeah, nobody bothered to tell him that they're fucking singing a different tune now. And Utu's dad is just kind of like, well, Mr. Raymond, I can sign your paper if you tell me. Can you do something about the seal cove to make sure that all of them are dead? That all of them are completely dead? That every last fucking seal gets murdered with a club to the head? Please?
And Eric is like, boy, do I have news for you. They're already dead. Ba-ba-ba-da, ba-ba-ba-da.
And then Eric realizes that he can't actually kill every single seal. There's always going to be one or two. And Utu's dad is just like, you disappoint me, Mr. Raymond. I guess we're not going to sign.
All seals dead or nothing.
The only good seal is a dead seal.
Vicious.
That joke again.
Yes.
I think I said it wrong in the last episode, too. Actually, what happens is Utu's dad is just like, can we not use that cove for the seals as a harbor? And Eric's just like, are you fucking serious? That's the crux of the entire thing. I gotta kill every single last seal. And then, Utu's dad is just, congratulations, Eric, you fucking played yourself. Other than, why can't Eric be a good businessman and lie and be like, oh, no, yeah, we could do something different. And then when it doesn't, and he just starts building it there anyway, he could just be like, you signed the fucking contract, sorry.
He's too stupid and he's accidentally honest sometimes.
They aren't gonna sell the island here, and Eric's understandably like, well, what about the money? And George is like, some things are more important than money.
But not college.
You're going to SEAL college now, Utu. I'm sorry.
Hope you'll have fun learning how to be a SEAL, getting your master's in SEALs.
Here comes a jet at this point. It's Harvey, and now it's time for Pizzazz to be a disappointment, which is really... I don't understand why Pizzazz has to get the shit in this episode. I mean, Eric didn't do anything wrong. Pizzazz didn't do anything wrong, other than enact a plan badly.
And harass the people who live here.
Well, okay. Karma for crashing a snowmobile into a man on a dog sled.
I suppose so. So Pizzazz is like, bummer, we didn't get it to work. And Harvey's like, well, fuck you then. And flies away. He doesn't even stop to pick up Pizzazz.
And now Rio arrives with the band's equipment. And it's just like, we almost went in. It's like Rio showing up at the end of fucking Hot Time in Hawaii. At least he doesn't say anything, right?
I don't think so. He does tenderly hold Jem's waist and look into her eyes like, isn't Jericho supposed to be here?
And then Utu's dad is just like, hey, I know you guys probably have, like, hypothermia and everything, but will you please sing a song? Fuck off, snow bastard. Holograms out! We're out of here!
Yeah.
Get me back to LA, please!
But they do sing a song, I guess.
Bonnie goes, pretty please, for Utu, and Naraku, and Inuyasha.
And Kagome!
And Inuyasha!
And Kagome!
Song number 3, Safe and Sound. Kristen, this song... kinda sucks.
Sucks.
Kinda sucks, yeah.
Sucks.
It is gospel suck.
Yeah, it's bad.
What's weird is the lyrical content of the song. It's almost like falsely reassuring. It's one of those things where she's like, hey, everything's gonna be alright, but it's sung in such a way that it sounds facetious, almost.
Oh, yeah. Bad things will never happen again, little kid. Enjoy your childhood while it lasts. And then Jem has a heart attack and dies in front of Bonnie. And Bonnie swears revenge. We
see that there are more seals, and there's bubbles with all holograms in them. And then we get basically the second half of the music video is all reused footage from the episode because, the episode's over. We don't need anything else. Fuck it.
Remember when Jem saved Bonnie from the whirlpool? You're safe now. It'll be alright. No whirlpools ever again!
Remember when the plane took off and Jetta's hair went back and her eyes were like, whoa! Because she wasn't in the
bird fell out of her hair.
And she just looked like a normal human being.
No more birds now, Jetta, you're safe! No more murder kayak!
Well, there's more still, actually. So, they're leaving Bonnie with Utu's family for a week.
We don't want her anymore. Take her.
Little do they know, Kristen, that George is actually a contract that Bonnie has a hit out on.
Well, she's just doing her... I was going to say dirty deeds done dirt cheap again, but I recently made that joke, so...
I don't know what we're doing with Bonnie, considering she has been a cop, a detective, and a hitman.
And now an assassin?
And now a hitman, yes.
What a busy little girl.
Just no more solo kayak rides for you, Bonnie.
But kill all the people you want.
I need to get the fuck out of here. I need coffee.
Today's been terrible. I spent several days in Alaska and nearly died. No one looked at Jem's head. She was out cold and freezing for several hours. Nobody was like, is your head okay? Maybe this is why she gets bunkers in season 3.
It's post-concussion syndrome, of course.
Of course.
We cut back to Eric and the Misfits. He comments that, Pizzazz, you're actually pretty calm considering what happened here. And as they're getting on the dog sleds, Pizzazz pushes Eric down into the snow, punches him in the face. And she should have. I don't know if she did, but she pushes him down in the snow at the very least. And is just like, Eric, very angry at you, and now you're going to freeze to death.
He says, you know what, you could have blamed me for what happened here. And Pizzazz is like, I do blame you. Walk back to
and pushes them down in the snow. And then they all ride off on the dog sleds, and Eric chases...
all throwing up middle fingers.
Eric chases after them, and he's just like, wait, Pizzazz, I'll sell 1 million copies of your next record. I'll pay for your next hairdresser's appointment. We fade out, and Eric freezes to fucking death like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining.
That joke again.
Did we use that joke last week?
I think so.
Anyway, that was The Middle of Nowhere. Kristen, The Middle of Nowhere is not a great episode, I'll say.
No.
It's also one of the ones where I'd say it is a bit... It's a lot like... It's a lot like The Jazz Player, where there is just like a really, really big stretch for why Jem and the Misfits need to be in the same place.
Yeah, it's very contrived, not particularly compelling. I don't think Stormer says more than one line, which is disappointing.
Kristen, is it better if the Misfits are delivered the exposition by Lindsay, so they at least know where the holograms are?
I mean, I feel like at this point it's believable that Lindsay is just constantly, like, on 24/7 Gem Watch.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, even though we harp on that, too, where it's just like, fuck, this again? It's better than Eric is doing a thing and Bonnie has a pen pal, so now they're all in Alaska at the same time.
Yeah, by coincidence instead of by Lindsay's malicious hand.
Also, the holograms didn't really even try to, like, get Utu's dad to not sign the contract. It was just a lot of...
They didn't seem to give a shit.
Kimber was the only one who just, like, with her innocence, just going, what's going to happen to the seals? And
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, we shouldn't be busybodies. This isn't any of our business.
Yeah, for once in their life, for some reason.
All of a sudden now, they're like, this is private. Let's respect their privacy.
The only reason that Eric's plan didn't work is because of Bonnie's hubris, of all things.
I know. Someone's always got to be fucking with Eric, and this time it happened to be Bonnie.
Now's the point in the evening where I'll list off all of the fun contact things, where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTAPod. You can follow me at Octopus, that's AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, link trademark.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever the hell you feel like. We also got YouTube. Take a look at YouTube. We're uploading shit there. It's nice. You can YouTube. Whatever. We had a special thumbnail for Jesus Christ Superstar that you gave me.
Yep.
It's not much different, but it's also YouTube, so you could listen there. Hey, do that. Drop us a line, why not? At cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us about all the fucking troublesome seals, especially Sipper, that bastard, and how ice drifts somehow become autonomous and start crashing into people.
And if you at me on Twitter, I might be able to hook you up with a free copy of Jesus Christ Superstar 2000.
Hey, well, how about that? Who gives a shit?
I might be able to. Guess you'll have to ask.
And next week, Kristen, it's Renaissance Woman.
I hope it isn't as bad as I remember, but I have a bad feeling.
I hope it's all right. Let's just go over Renaissance Woman real quick. We got it's a dance episode, first of all. So, off the bat, really not in a good place.
Bad start.
Second, it's at a Ren Fair that people are taking, like, absurdly seriously.
They pretend it's real.
They pretend to the point where it's not like the fucking King of the Hill episode where Alan Rickman guest starred and they had to have him do a Texas accent because he stopped being the Ren Fair guy at one point. Which it was Alan Rickman's Texas accent, let me tell you, really shitty.
I can imagine.
I'm pretty sure they don't break character throughout the entire episode, which is fucking stupid. There's no misfits. The main, like, antagonistic force is this Ren Fair guy, I'm pretty sure.
This stupid fake king, or duke, or something. I hate it.
I'm already mad, because I remember when watching it, it was a drag, and now I gotta actually write notes about it, too.
Yeah, we have to watch it again, and watching it just casually felt like it took 5,000 hours, so...
Hey, I'm sure we can make it funny, because we made Seal Murder funny in this episode.
Yep, I feel like if we got through this, and if we got through Culture Clash, we can do anything.
Culture Clash is starting to look really good about now.
Right? Really?
Well, so join us next week for Renaissance Woman, an episode that we've dreaded doing since about the beginning of the podcast, so... enjoy that for the Can We Talk About podcast. My name is Joe.
I am Kristen.
And join us next week where... oh, God.